Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone. So we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
Yo, 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 yo. Give me a beat. You feel?
I was going to sing I was going to say I sneezed on the beat and the beat got sicker, but I was like, I don't want to get copyrighted.
But you also weren't giving me a beat. You were just quoting a Beyonce line.
Because I know my place. First of all, it's birthday month, and look at me. Look at me. You think I can beatbox? The only time, and the kind of beatboxing I'm doing is pentatonics beatboxing.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say penetration and not pentatonics, but probably because you know what today is.
Fisting Friday.
Yes.
So I should make it known to everybody that I have a question. And I have a question for you too, Melissa.
Okay.
So we'll get into like what we've been doing and life and stuff on Monday. Nope, that's a lie. On Tuesday. On see you next Tuesday. But as a little teaser, I'm doing something that is like kind of accidentally work related and talking to someone, and they were like asking me like what I do for fun, like what I do career-wise and all that stuff. And I was talking about how I have a podcast. And they were like, what's the podcast about? And I was like, sex. And they're like, I got that vibe. And I was like, we haven't talked about sex at all. And they were like, no, there's just like, you've got the personality for like one of those things. And they're like, I mean it as a compliment. And I was like, okay, that's
What
kind.
did this person look like?
Like from a scale from 1 to 10? Or
No. Like physically, what did they look like?
I wasn't offended by the statement.
That's not answering the question, though.
Like a shorter man.
Okay, how old was he?
Probably like 30s. No,
Okay.
yeah, probably like mid to late 30s.
Okay.
It was very much like, straight shooting,
I didn't
women
know if
just
he
talking.
was hitting on you.
No, not at all. And I would know.
And I also didn't know if he was a creepy old man.
No, I would
That's
have.
why I was asking
I would have led
age.
with that. I would have led with it because if it had been from like anyone else, I would have been like, but I was like, no. Knowing the audience, this is a person who also listens to podcasts, and like this person and I've been talking for like hours, just like getting to know each other,
Mhm.
and they're like, yeah, you're very much. Let me be entertaining and also brutally honest. And they were like, yeah, I was like dating and sex and relationships like that. Yeah, it's exactly what I would have guessed. And I was like, okay, cool. Amazing.
Maybe I
Wonderful.
should lead with that because my uncle was very adamant on listening to this show, and my cousin and cousin-in-law technically were like, absolutely not. And Danny was like, I listened to it. It was too much for me, Pops. Don't listen to it. And he's like, but what is it about? And he kept pushing. And we were just like, it's not something that an uncle should be listening to.
Just tell him that the Friday episode is called Fisting Friday.
He probably wouldn't even get that.
And then it'd be like, now that's an issue. This is the indicator that you should not be listening if you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
If you're related. If you don't know what it is and you're not related to us, like, feel free to come learn. All aboard.
Well, he is a professor, so like he is about learning. So
but sometimes
curiosity.
You don't need to learn about people you're related to.
I know. I was like, everybody, even my best friend that's a cousin, but he is a boy, man, whatever. I don't know. When it's people you grew up with, it's weird
They're
calling
still
them
boys.
men.
They're not men. Like, they're literally still boys.
Like, I won't even call my sisters like women or like the girls.
Yeah, there's boy cousins and there's girl cousins.
Yeah. And he was like, I listened for about 5 minutes and was like, that's not something that a cousin needs to hear.
And, that's fair. And I have a lot of like, I'm learning as time goes on that there are other people that I'm realizing now I feel weird listening to the podcast. Like, I forget we don't exist in a vacuum.
I do too. And now I know that my friend CJ is regularly listening. Crazy. And he just he'll pop up with things and was like, the last thing that he sent was like, you were perfectly spot on with that description of what Sunny D tastes like.
And you just don't know who you're touching and impacting when we make this content. Like, we don't know who's resonating with it. And like, now I've said that the people I need to stop, like, with, I love how much they love me. And I love how much they're like just talking about like all the wonderful things that I do. But I do need mods to stop telling people that I have a podcast without giving a really lengthy precursor, because I'm like, babe, you don't listen enough to know what you are recommending to people.
Same with my dad. His friends are always asking, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's a lot. I will say my future mother-in-law, she's like, I really like go based on like the type. I'll like read the description like sometimes, but my future sister-in-law, when people are like, oh, we hear that Meghan has a podcast, she goes, it's not for you. Like, to her parents, she goes, I don't know. And they were like, I don't know, I feel like, and she goes,
that's exactly what they always say.
She's like, I don't want to know that you've like, I don't want you to talk about it.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, it's, and I, again, sometimes I just fucking forget the things that we share.
Me too.
Publicly. Because it's just like we're talking, because we talk like this on and off camera, and it's like, oh God, there were people there who heard that, who then might know us in real life.
Yikes. Well, before we get into the fisting of today, I would like to discuss something that was from yesterday's episode, even though we will do the votes next week, but I just feel like it'll be old news by the time we get there. This episode came out when you're listening to it yesterday, and Yelena Ostapenko is someone else that is crying over Coco because these bitches are so obsessed with being losers. And she was crying because she lost against Coco, and she was like, I didn't have enough time to recover because she was high off adrenaline after beating the number 1 tennis player, and she didn't go to sleep till 5 a.m. And she was like, Coco had more rest than I did. Yelena had Labor Day off. Coco played doubles that day, and then they played later. So if anybody was going to be tired, it would be Coco. And Coco was like, it probably wasn't even a physical thing. It was probably mental. And I think these people keep forgetting that tennis is both a mental and physical sport, especially when you're playing in a tournament, because you don't know if you're winning or losing or when you're going to play next. And that's not Coco's problem. That's your problem that you don't have your head in the game. So,
but also, like, you mean to tell me that you're like, I'm sorry I played bad. I just like was so good yesterday.
But it was a whole day between.
No, but it's also one of those things that I'm like, then you're not like
Then
then
you're
show
not
how
good.
good you are. Then show
Yeah.
how good, like, what the fuck is wrong? This is giving me Simone Biles, where it's like people are just coming up with these fucking excuses because they're afraid, and at the same time they're like, you know, there's a racism component to the fact of like, I'm afraid of how good you are, but I'm afraid of you knowing that I think you're good.
Yep.
And it's like, these excuses are getting more and more embarrassing.
Yeah, and you're sitting up crying in an interview.
It's like I'm waiting for the next person to be like, she hypnotized me. Like,
Right.
it's like, what do you mean? It's like fucking Laura who like sat down and was like, I forgot the rules of tennis, the game I'm a professional in for all of these years. And this other one being like, I couldn't sleep because I was so excited. And it's like, okay, you're a fan. You're a crazed fan.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
She's gotta be, her fucking group chat with her friends right now must be like, they're like, this is hilarious.
Yes.
Like, this is actually
she's
so
probably
funny.
she's probably not reading it right now because she is a consummate like professional. And it's like, that's gonna be like, I mentally can't go there. But as soon as it's over with, then then she's in it. Because again, it is mental too.
It's great. It's just, it's like they saw her and they forgot how to play the game they professionally play.
It's like, go to your room, take some magnesium, go to sleep. You've
Take
got
a
a full
Benadryl
day.
if you really fucking need to.
You've got a full day where you can rest and relax.
And like, what do you just like the day after Christmas? Are you up all night? Like, if you have an orgasm, you don't sleep for the next 3 days. Like, you ace a test. Like, maybe you should fail more then. Like, maybe you should suck more because clearly you can't handle being good for more than like 12 hours.
As we're speaking, that woman is like ranked like 25th, and Coco's in the top 5. So
it just feels like an excuse to be like, I'm not actually good enough. I don't feel like I'm good enough. So let me.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Just put into words that I ended up beating. I beat someone who is so good, and that's why I like. It's like,
if you're that good, then beat her.
Then be that good. It's giving me the vibes of like the guys who are just like, I'm like laying all the groundwork of like, I'm such a like, I'm a wonderful guy, I'm a wonderful boyfriend and all of that, but it's like, but I just can't do this with you. It's a you thing. And it's like, if you're so amazing and you're so great, show me. Don't tell me. So this is embarrassing for everybody except for her.
Right.
But I would just love for people to be like so fucking like the hoops that these people are jumping through. I'd be like, oh my God, you guys are like obsessed.
I'm just like, I've always been like a Venus and Serena fan, but I've never just been like a tennis fan. And the new folks, they've got me into it. I think I'm becoming a tennis fan as a whole.
I think so too. And I don't know exactly how old Venus and Serena are or when they like were
40 and like 43.
Because I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that like their come up was like they were already established as tennis stars by the time that like I was old enough to like be watching tennis. So I feel like the excitement I have, and like I've loved them, but the new crop of them, I'm like, I feel like this is like how people felt watching they're like being like so young, coming like and doing all of this, and I was like, oh, I'm hooked until these bitches fucking retire. Like, I'm fucking hooked. They're just so good. And there's something so nice about a sport where you can talk back. And like, the thing that always pisses me off about like Olympic gymnastics is if you even like look at judge or like you'll get docked point. Like, it's so like that. And you don't have like the audience in the crowd. Like, they're not going to be cheering for you. So I'm loving this camaraderie between the audience and the tennis players who I like. And then the fact that they can like be like, that was not fair. I'm like, fight with that ref. Like, yeah, bitch, come on. I love it. I want to watch some now.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of like New York City influencers apparently who like showed up late, and like the like someone like over the loudspeaker was like, can you please sit down quickly? And it's like the camera's on them. And I was like, oh. It's embarrassing.
My friend from college, Amanda, goes like every year. And I'm like, I'm coming with you next time.
Yeah. Everyone I know in New York always goes, and I've weirdly never been.
We're going to be tennis girlies now.
I love it. Got to work on my wrist.
Well, stop jacking off so much.
It's just so hard for me. I love it so much. My big juicy dick. I just love slinging it around. Anyways, can you tell I've been on Reddit? I saw someone on Reddit refer to Morningwood as sunrise sausage, and I wanted to rip my eyeballs out. I was like, don't call it, like, I saw the movie. No, I just hate the term sausage because I like to eat I like to eat sausage in the morning, but there's only one kind of sausage I like to eat in the morning, and like, don't ruin it for me. Like edible sausage that's like that I'm actually swallowing. Fuck, no matter how I say it, I can't differentiate between. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's like the issue is like they need to like sue for brand infringement because the name, it's just too similar.
What if you called it morning sausage?
No, it's disgusting.
The thing is too is that sausage comes in many shapes and forms. It's not all the same.
I know.
There can be a patty, and like there's different. Like you can have like the breakfast sausage, but then like there's other breakfast sausages that aren't like the traditional sausage that you're automatically comes to your mind, and then there's also just like sausage like people having like bratwurst and sausages. It's a diverse name for many things.
And that's the thing. And representative, that also fits with the other kind of sausage. Like, I'm like, it's the most accurate, but it's like, I want to give credit to whoever came up with it and just say like, I respect the comparison. It is absolutely perfect. It's actually too close for comfort and I hate it. And I would like us to just never do that. It's just like, ee. But the guy, like, he got the advice he like needed on Reddit. And then he was like, and I am taking it to heart that people have been like, please don't ever fucking use that word again. And like, you're right.
I would crack up with it. I'm not against it. Because both I do enjoy in the morning.
It sounds like Morningstar sausage, which is like a vegan one. Like,
that's immediately what popped into my head.
Like, don't do that.
And that's fine.
It's the same brand confusion that I have with the Magnum ice cream bars, and I was like, it's just the same Magnum condom company because the whole branding, like the colors, like the ads, I'm like, I've never seen sexy ice cream. It's the sexy ice cream.
No, but that's Rachel Bilson, right?
Shut the fuck up. I don't even know if she's in it.
It's one of them.
I have no clue. I'm gonna have to look it up. Magnum ice cream. Yes, it is.
Okay.
But like, why is there sexy ice cream? And you mean to tell me that it's not the same as the condom brand?
And the thing is, like, all the commercials ended with her like taking a little bite of it and then like looking cheekily into the camera. And one, that's not how I eat an ice cream bar. But two, why? Y'all couldn't pick any other name.
That's what I'm saying.
It's basically,
if you Google it, everybody's being like, these are the same company, right? Everyone's like, no, they're not.
Give me a thick ice cream.
And maybe Magnum condoms needs to be like, we can make sexy ice cream too.
Anyway, let's.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Get into these results.
It's very fitting for the title of the episode, which is, Fisting Friday.
I know.
Okay.
Melissa hates hard seltzer. First of all,
really quickly, I just want everyone to give me my flowers for how cute this little new thing is.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Meghan has changed up the look. I like the upside down smiley face. Spectacular.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Then we can move on now. I just needed to say that.
Melissa hates hard seltzer. Well, that was not.
It's not
what I said.
I've decided to kind of be a little more quick. I'm just trying to get people riled up. Yeah.
And then I feel like
lying.
I feel like the votes got skewed because of this. Because some people don't listen to the episode.
Yeah, but then people are voting because they have passionate feelings. Hey, we're trying. Then you have your own plan for world domination. I've got mine, and mine includes a little bit of fibbing.
27% said that I was wrong. 73% said that I was not wrong. Now let's get into some of the responses. Someone said, I love a cold high noon on a summer's day, but Melissa is right. This has gone too far.
I have to question about the branding of high noon, because I have to say that high noon is when the sun's beating down on you from, isn't that the direct? That's high noon?
Yeah.
That's the hottest time.
That's why they say they like a cold one. They like to crack open a cold one. But I like to have afternoon tea.
I was going to say, yeah. Also 12 o'clock, your day's not over. I haven't even taken my second Adderall. That's you can't just cap out. It's a stressful name.
Person that sings that one song, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Which I found out that
I don't know enough about him to be.
My mom's a fan, and I've never heard. No, she's never talked about this man a day in her life. And I was talking to her on the phone, and as she always does, is watching the news while I'm talking to her. I'm so rude. And she's like, Jimmy Buffett died? And I was like, you care? And she was like, yeah, I love him. I was like, give me a song that's not 5 o'clock somewhere or Margaritaville. She has a bad memory as it is anyway, so that really didn't do anything. But I was just like, woman, come on now.
He looks like a nice man.
Yeah, I think he might be a nice man.
I'm just unsure because I know a lot of problematic white people who love him, and they were very upset that he died. And so I just have to do my research before I'm also sad for the world,
Yeah.
I'm sad for his family, his family and all that.
He's into weed, so that's a good.
I know. So based from his shirt and his smile alone, I could see the ganja behind those eyes, and I thought, is this an ally?
Was Bob Graham?
He did Save the Manatee.
He's a Democrat. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Very sad.
He had backed Save the Manatee, which was founded by a Democrat. That was the governor of Florida at one point. Disaster relief. Okay, he seems like he's okay. Shaking hands with Bill Clinton.
Had fans across the political spectrum, but he lent his talent to help Democrats in Florida. Okay, very,
On the surface, he seems okay.
Yep, and I'm sad for everyone who loved him.
Including my mother.
I have this thing where I identify men as saying he looks like he knows my dad, and Jimmy Buffett almost falls into it. He's a little too showered to fully fall into it, but I met someone the other day and I was like, I love this guy, and I look at him and I go, that guy, I'm not even saying that guy looks like he knows my dad. I'm I will be shocked if that man does not know my dad.
Yes.
This is the vibe.
Okay, somebody else said 100% agree. Tried the hard Fresca and they were good, but whenever I saw them in the fridge, I wanted one. Was way too similar to the normal version and tricked my brain into craving a drink when I really just wanted a regular Fresca. And that is what I'm talking about.
There's no business for alcohol to be in Fresca, but I do have to let you know, when I did drink a white wine paired with Fresca and then red wine paired with Diet Coke, this was taught to me by a friend's mom, who also was not like a big drinker, a huge fan of drinking, so it would be how to make it not taste like that. And yeah, I would have it.
Okay.
Not anymore though.
Well, maybe you should put it in a can and sell it.
No. I also don't love a lot of canned beverages. They're very sharp and just crunchy. Like, oof. My hot take was Meghan says that celebrities are not your friend. You are a stalker. And 2% said I was not wrong. 2% said I was wrong. 98% said I was not wrong. And I don't know if I screenshotted this.
There are a bunch of...
But someone says it's so creepy how some even talk about celebs like they're close friends or family. Like, truly, you have no idea who this person is in real life. You're delusional. To that, I say, stay tuned for the next episode of what I'm going to be talking about for another episode, because it is that. And someone else had said something like, just to give more context of like, this is like, it's the ridiculously small part of New Jersey. And so it's like, you don't even have privacy from people you know. Like, it's just like, it's so tiny, which, okay. Like, I think that that's like still fine. Like, I grew up in a very small area, and like, I'm sure this part of New Jersey is like even smaller than where I grew up, but nobody would be running to find celebrity, like if you knew that someone was there. And it's just, the thing is, if you want to stalk someone, do it incognito. Like, don't, it's embarrassing because people can see you. Like, you want to like internet stalk someone, figure out like, don't breach people's privacy, but like, you're displaying it to then, if it's such a small town, then people are watching you do that. And that should also be embarrassing.
I think the people that they know are probably also into it.
It's just fucking creepy.
It is creepy. Then we've got writer number 1 versus boyfriend sister who put the writer and her boyfriend on an air mattress. 75% said the writer is wrong. 25% said the writer is not wrong. Someone said, we really needed more info on this one. I'd definitely stay on an air mattress if it was free. I think the writer is not wrong to be upset with these accommodations. I do feel it is rude of the family to not provide her with the privacy of a room when staying in a house full of their family. I think the boyfriend is the most wrong for not properly communicating with both the writer and his family. If I were in this scenario, I know my boyfriend would either discuss this discomfort with his sister or look into us staying elsewhere for a few days. I would be there.
Yeah, I don't like disagree in the sense, but like, I think the issue is that like, to prescribe, like, to decide someone's intentions, that like, I think if they didn't want you there, you wouldn't get invited. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's something about like getting disrespected is if someone wants to intentionally disrespect you to your face in front of your boyfriend who is their family, like, that's creating a whole ass mess for themselves, and I think that's just a lot less likely than a boyfriend who is not communicating it well and is not communicating it well with the family or you. And so it's just, it's just, that part gets tricky.
I just don't think if you're not paying, then you don't have a
right, and I think
complain.
that's without 100%.
I mean, anybody can complain, but I just don't think your complaints are confounded, especially when you're leaving early. You're not even staying the whole time.
Yeah. Then we have writer number 2 versus their friends who think it's a bad idea for the writer to rehome cats. 17% said the writer's wrong. 83% said friends are wrong. And people have some fucking feelings about this. And I have feelings about their feelings. So someone said, if you love the animal, you'll deal with the behaviors. I had a cat that lived to 20 and she never used the litter box properly. We had to clean the floor so much that we ended up having to replace them twice in her life. I know it's hard, but they are your responsibility when you adopt them. If they aren't good to the pets, then let them go. But no pet is perfect and you shouldn't get them if you aren't prepared for their behaviors. This is just weird because that's literally what the writer had said, where it was like, it was the issue with the other pets. Like that was what the problem was. And I also think that like behaviors of like an animal not being well potty trained, that to me is like not what this discussion was about. Like
there was
I just
a lot of other things going on.
Yeah, like it's just that when they're not getting along at all and it's an issue of a new pet, like it's just everything gets compounded. And someone said, else, unlike Eminem, I'm a cat person. I had a similar situation where I tried to bring a second cat into our home. The little terror bullied our established cat and would literally poop on the carpet a foot outside the bathroom with the litter box in it. We tried to make it work for 3 months before I was at my wit's end. The best decision for myself, my cat, and the problem cat was to bring him to a no-kill shelter. I also strongly urge anyone from getting their cats outside unsupervised. Cats absolutely devastate wild bird populations, which is a big problem. I also think that going outside makes cats, there's like some cat cult leader outside and it makes them
it's probably one of the leaders over here.
And and then they just become like these literal beasts, which I'm like, wonderful. But like, then you live outside. You don't need to come live in my house. Like you are a mountain lion. Like that's okay. Like live your truth. But like, you're not going to cuddle with me. Like it's I'm not going to cuddle a mountain lion.
Yeah, there's this huge, I tried to take a picture for you, but I couldn't get one. But that big fat cat that's always over here. And Allison was like, you don't like give it water or anything? I was like, this cat clearly has a home. Do you not see how big this cat is and how healthy the fur is? It's just like they have a collar. It's just an outside cat. Let the cat be. And the last time I tried to feed a cat, I got this whole letter from a neighbor talking about how that the cat was vegan. So I'm not giving a cat anything that has a home.
That's the weirdest neighbor you ever had. It was so fucking funny. Yeah, it's just like, no, it's just I'm not gonna fuck with it. Like there are cats that live outside. Those are called mountain lions. And like that's fine if like you want to be a mountain lion, but you're no longer a tabby cat. Like it's just like the cool. So this one really pissed me off. And I'm not even a cat person, which is how you know. I don't actually believe that the writer has tried everything. I've witnessed a lot of animals being surrendered for very fixable issues. I don't think these people or the writer should keep their animals if no one is happy and they're not able to put in the work to solve it. Rehoming isn't bad in itself. It can be very good. And if the shelter says they can rehome, that's great. Give them a big donation or a smaller continual support donation for helping out. So like, why do we assume, like, it just feels like at this point, there will never be enough for certain people when you say we've tried everything. And it's like, well, you haven't actually tried everything. And it goes, why is that the automatic assumption? Like, I just think that like, I'm okay with animal people. Like when people are like, I love animals more than humans, like that's totally fine. But I think assuming that all humans are inherently awful and all animals are inherently perfect and wonderful is like, if you want to keep that as an inside thought, that's totally fine. But then when you pass off this extreme judgment to pet owners, you have people who then feel so shamed into keeping a pet that their pet is living a horribly decreased quality of life. Like I think about it in the sense of like relationships. Like you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. So like if you get the pet and you're like, I don't like want to keep, this is just not happening, I'm not being a good pet owner, I don't think like in terms of like pride and for people shaming you, you should then keep the pet, because shaming that doesn't make you a better pet owner. That just makes you more embarrassed and like prideful that you then cannot admit that you're not a good pet owner. And I don't like that. Like that's not, it doesn't accomplish the goal. I think, far more education and like even like pre-adoption, like all of the stuff before you can get to that point of adopting a pet. But like once you've adopted a pet or you've gotten a pet, like I think convincing people to keep said pet that they don't want is far more harm than good.
As someone in this industry, this is so much better to find a home that fits them than force the animal in a home they don't feel safe or comfortable in. Just be sure to vet the organization you are using to make sure they are a no-kill and ask questions about their adoption process. This ensures the organization will look into potential future owners in their place. And then we've got wrong of the week. Who is wrong? Neo. 98% said that Neo is wrong. 2% said Neo is not wrong. Someone said we have...
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast. We bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
People like Nikki Tutorials and Kim Patras, who's transitioned at such an early age, Kim being the youngest ever to do so, I believe, might have to fact check that. And last time I checked, they're pretty happy. One is married and one won a Grammy.
Facts. Okay. Kim Petras makes wonderful music. I would absolutely adore if she was able to get out of her contract with Dr. Luke. But she's wonderful. Have you ever listened to her music?
I listened when Kyle made us listen to it.
Yeah. You want to shake your fucking titties? Like Kim Petras. So my wrong of the week, I nominated Madeline Argy, and 94% said that she was wrong. 6% said she was not wrong. How many people do you think of those are white British people? But we did get a message from
Madeline herself?
No.
Damn.
God, no. Someone who said, I've been thinking about this for weeks. I myself am a Brit and also had never heard of a sundown town before. So when I saw her TikTok, I didn't know what the issue was initially, as she coincidentally doesn't explain in her video. But like it literally took 2 seconds to look it up. It's that easy. Like you're telling me she thought that they were so cute and told everyone about them without looking it up. I genuinely don't know what other reaction she expected. Exactly. Like people needed to Google, which I'm not faulting. People needed to Google what sundown towns were after her video so they could understand the context of her video. And then people are like, well, she didn't look it up. And I go, but you had to look it up. Like, what do you, yeah, it does not compute it does not compute. And thankfully, and thank you to that person for writing in for, expressing that is truly the case. Once you look it up, you can't, people aren't even going to comment on the situation without looking it up. And then they look it up and then they want to defend her saying she probably didn't look it up. And it's like, but you, okay, cool. That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is it for that episode. I hope you all like the new little graphic. That's what happens when you're in a hotel room. You're like, with a splitting migraine, and Melissa's like, hey, make the votes now. And I said, oh, how about I redesign all of them?
Let's just say I wasn't saying to do it because you had a migraine. Or I was pressuring.
I'm just saying,
it was because we were recording today and it was yesterday and you had a full week to do them and you didn't do them.
I'm just saying that, like, in classic me fashion, I had a full week to do them. I didn't do them. I have a splitting migraine. I'm lying in bed and I go, I have to do this. So why don't, Megan, you redesign all of them and take far longer than just inputting them into what you already do? No, of course, I got to make it a little more difficult for myself.
They look great.
Thanks.
Hope you enjoyed this extra long fisting of a Friday.
Extra long and extra girthy.
Like a sausage.
And you know what? Have it morning, noon, or night. A high noon morning sausage.
Oh, yeah.
That should be what we call this.
High noon
morning sausage. That sounds like a haiku. It's not enough words. More. I'm not going to deal with it. I used to love a haiku. Anyways.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the co-hosts of the Christmas. Let me try that again. Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be massively merry, gigantically jolly, fantastically festive, as some people might say, Eric. We are all about alliterations, and we are all about Christmas spirit. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's go. It should be like, let's go, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors, including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go Network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.